guys. Today we're going to be reacting to Andrew Educate's Modern Women and why men prefer this in women. Let's jump in.
Idea comes from that, like, and you should know this because of the industry you're in, but all the parts basically work the same way with everybody. They don't really work very, very differently between different people. Every man is essentially designed for every woman's vagina and vice versa. The idea of sex compatibility is not really a thing. Most people historically, right? They got married without ever having sex. And they stayed married their whole lives, and most of them had good sex lives because we're designed to have sex with each other. We're designed that way.
Mm-hmm. You can sense the tension too without doing it, like the chemistry.
Yeah. Oh, I'm really super attracted to you until I got you naked and had sex with you, said no guy ever in history.
Yeah, literally, that could be possible. I could be super attracted to a guy. I think he's super, like, cute, but he's just, like, not, like, I just don't vibe with him, sexually.
Yeah, what are you comparing it to, though, if he's your only partner?
Right, so that's why they would stay married longer, because they have nothing to be jealous of.
That's a
This
good
is
thing.
bad. Why?
It's not bad.
Well, I mean, it's like if there's better out there, like sexually.
Oh, so
like,
they should all. So they should
think-
all be a bunch of because they could find Mr. Right.
No, not at all. What I was arguing is that I feel like or at least from my perspective, the reason why a man would want a virgin is because the virgin doesn't have anything to compare it to, so there's no competition.
It's
like,
not just that.
it's just like they only had one boyfriend.
So what he should do, so then let's use the reverse of this, okay? So would you advise a man then to go to his virgin, soon-to-be wife and say, you know, honey, you should go out and at least 10 guys before we get married so you know that I'm the right one?
No, but
Then what would you advise him to do?
Up marriage lasting longer, and I feel like it's just not relevant to the factors of a marriage lasting longer just because she's only had one sexual partner, you know?
Wow.
Irrelevant.
I don't think it's relevant because there's like, I feel like I've heard from women that were married or were in a committed relationship with one guy that like they weren't sexually satisfied, but they stayed with them anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like,
darn.
I feel like
they were with the person that they loved and they weren't sexually satisfied, so they
Isn't it crazy? This is why you should never ask for female advice when it comes down to relationship. This is literally the recipe for disaster. Like, sex is a big part of the marriage, but it's not the main thing. You have to have a clear goal why you're in the marriage in the first place. If you're thinking about only the butterfly, that's not gonna last that long, folks. And this right here is the worst mindset. No wonder these people are in the industry they are.
Got rid of their heated.
Well, just
so
because
wait,
you
so
get
they
married
set
doesn't
aside.
mean you love them.
So they set aside their hedonism in order to obtain higher value. You realize that hedonism and self-pleasure is not the purpose of life. And if you get married to somebody, make a commitment to them, why would it be a problem for you to keep a commitment because you feel like you're unsatisfied in a single area of life?
Right, and that's the complicated part. That's why, for me, at least me personally, like, I would never marry someone that I didn't know I had sexual chemistry with, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I do think you can have sex before marriage, because I feel like sexual chemistry is very important in the relationship.
I don't feel like sexual chemistry is hard between people.
I don't.
You pretty girl, you handsome guy, it mostly works out.
I don't agree because
you don't agree,
right?
I could imagine.
You can feel the tension.
Because I've liked sex better with this person, but maybe not with this guy, you know? But it's like...
Yeah, but this is because you're making a comparison between many guys. Assume
good point. Good point. She's making the comparison with multiple guys. Great point.
That you had what you consider right this second to be mediocre sex, but you were a virgin, right? And to you, it was the best feeling thing on planet Earth. Absent the comparison.
Warlord 69, you donated $69. Ladies, understand, once you are on the internet, it's lights, camera, action. You are never truly valuable once you've given up the controls to your brain. The joke in your reality.
What does that mean?
I don't even know what the hell that means.
He's just saying that once you put nudes of yourself out, it's forever.
Okay.
Right.
Or you have sex with guys on camera, it's forever, which is true.
Of course.
But anyway, so back to this.
Nah, she's saying, she's of course, but she doesn't understand the ramification of this thing. This is this is gonna be so bad, so bad. All this is, it's gonna just go back to them so bad.
And you were a virgin. You married a man. You had what you would right now consider to be mediocre sex with that man, but it was still the best feeling thing you'd ever had because
That's the only sex.
there was nothing else to compare
Right.
it to. How the world could you make a reference that it could be better over here?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I was saying
Okay, let's see.
is that I feel like from what I've heard from a lot of women that are divorced, they didn't have the level of sexual chemistry that they wanted.
And had all of those women been fucked by other dudes before their husband?
I don't know.
What would you think?
Come on.
I mean, I like the perspective of a virgin person right now that only had one partner because I don't have that perspective, so I don't know.
Well, what virgins report is that they're highly satisfied in their sexual relationships.
Good
That's
for
what they
them.
report when they're asked.
Good for them.
Okay, let's say it's a virgin and a guy, whatever, they get married and everything, and they're just together for 10 years. What happens if in those 10 years they're just like, oh, I just don't want to be with you anymore?
What
Right.
happens? What happens if you're not a virgin and that happens?
That's why, either or. Because you're saying that people who are virgins last longer in their marriages. So what happens if that's not the case?
Those
What
are the
happens
if.
with anybody if it's not the case?
No, but I'm directing it specifically to your comment on saying that they last longer if they're a virgin.
I'm explaining to you why it's a nonsensical circular question. So what if I retain my virginity and then have the same outcome as if I didn't retain my virginity?
That's what I'm saying. That's not.
There we,
different.
that's
Yeah,
that's,
no,
that's the
it's
point.
different. So again, let us assume that we have 9 virgins, 1 non-virgin. Okay, the outcome for the non-virgin, X bad. Okay, now let's say it's worse than these. The non-virgin, the outcome is worse than the 9. Okay, now we take 2 of those virgins, who also get married, and they have the same outcome as that non-virgin. Which group is still more likely to have better outcomes?
The virgins.
The virgins. So even if it were true that some virgins have bad outcomes similar to those who are not virgins at marriage, most virgins still have better outcomes than them, right?
Okay, that's if men, like the man that's marrying that woman, cares about their virginity. Their specific
Right.
virginity.
Because
Let's say,
not every man views it as being the gold bar. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
So you remember how you said every there?
yeah.
Right.
And I agree with you. Not every man does.
Right.
But let me counter with this. Do you think that most men, if they could take you, these are your romantic partners, but they could take away every man you've ever before them, would they?
Yeah.
Okay then. Anything else you guys wanted to add to that?
Man, that was good. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Wow, that was
Take
good.
away every man you've ever before them, would they?
Yeah.
Okay then. Anything else you guys wanted to add to that?
Wow, that's.
Nick, why you gotta, come on, bro. Why you gotta do
What about you? Do you think any romantic partner that you have who's a man,
It's a good question.
if they could you, would they do it?
Like you're saying, but doesn't that
Would
make them
they
insecure?
do it?
But doesn't that make them
Would they
insecure?
do it?
I guess, but like,
Well, then
Would
the
that-
question,
wait, hold
doesn't the
on
question
now.
now seem
Okay,
like
but then
nonsense?
that's an insecure
that's
man.
insecure.
Why is it insecure?
Oh, I say you're a
Because
man.
you don't
Wow.
have any comparison
No.
except you.
What if that's not the reason?
That doesn't make sense.
So what's the
Why-
reason?
wait,
What
wait.
would the
What
reason
was our
be?
Less
reason?
chances
I
of
don't know. Have you
STIs?
ever had a traumatic sexual relationship? Like you dated a guy.
Hang on,
and it
hang
was
on.
traumatic.
I'm going to use your logic back. Okay. A man doesn't want a woman because she has 10 kids. He's insecure, right?
But that brings kids.
He's insecure or not insecure?
No, because there's 10 children that he would have to be a father.
But
to.
that's the outcome.
That's
That's the thing. That's the outcome. That's what is implemented in our biology. That's what it is.
the same as having sex.
Hang on. He's not insecure if she has 10 kids, right? I just want to make sure we
No.
got that answer.
No,
Not insecure? Or he's insecure if you won't date her because she has 10 kids?
I definitely think that he has a spot to be insecure simply
Oh,
because he
wow.
still would have to deal with the past baby.
Why
daddies.
would that be insecurity, though?
Think about it. Yeah.
But your question is, would a man be insecure if a lady has 10 kids?
No. My question is, if a man didn't want a lady with 10 kids, does that make him insecure?
No, it just makes him. He just has self-respect, and he doesn't feel comfortable being with a woman who has multiple kids with different guys.
So he has a preference.
Self-respect
Right.
And part of self-respect.
is preference. Yeah, that's his preference is to not be with a woman
So
that has
if your
10
preference is to be with a virgin and not with a woman who has a high body
kids.
count,
That's not insecurity.
That's perfectly
it's
fine.
not insecurity, right?
It's not.
There we go. There we go. That's it. Yeah.
Are
I'm
risking
confused.
having kids. It's kind of almost the same thing. The only difference is the actual part of having the kids. Like the woman with 10 kids with different men.
It's already an outcome. It's already the result of having multiple partners.
It's kind of the same thing with the woman that sleeps around because she's still risking pregnancy with all of those men, the same way a woman was willing to get pregnant by all those men and have those kids. I think it comes down to that. It's just unattractive that a woman would disrespect herself, because respect is attractive, to be willing to risk pregnancy, STIs, and all, and just be willing to be that
STI?
intimate with someone when they just
Or
met them
STDs.
or without certain requirements. It's basic psychology when someone.
Well, not only that, but think about it. Let's insert yourself in a man's shoes for a second. Mm-hmm. And on your wedding night, you say, "This really valuable thing, I saved it for you." How good of a feeling would that be for a man?
I know, but we're already married.
But what about a girl
Like,
though?
Okay, we're
But,
not.
like, wouldn't the
we're not
marriage
stand
adding.
back?
Hang on. Engage with what I'm asking first, and then change the conditionals. That's fair, right? From a man's perspective, let's say you're a man. Tomorrow you wake up and you're a man, okay?
Right.
And a woman on your wedding night says, "I saved my virginity for you because that's how much I love you."
Wow.
Right? I'm sorry, would you not be extremely pleased and happy with that outcome?
Wow. That's
I mean, she's marrying me. She chose to say yes
No,
to
no, no,
marriage.
she's not
That would
understanding
already
it.
be enough for me as a
no.
man.
Yeah,
She's
but-
not understanding.
Okay, but she kept her virginity and told you those words. "I kept myself chaste to give this to you."
Right, because she felt like I was the right person to give
Right.
it to.
But
How
of
would you
course,
not? How
but-
would that not make you feel like $1 million as a man?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't.
That's-
view
I don't know
virginity
isn't
as
an
val-
argument.
No, but I'm saying, in my mind, I don't view virginity as valuable.
I'm,
Like,
Wow.
I'm not asking
You know
you.
what
I mean?
I'm not.
There we go. Because it's not you who need to find it valuable. It's the man. He's the buyer. Virginity is your most valuable asset to get the best man that you can. And right now you're saying that because you're not a man. You don't understand it.
Asking you to view it from your perspective. I'm asking you this. Assume for a second that I crammed a man's brain into your head, okay? And then your physiology changed tomorrow, and now you're in a man's body. And now suddenly your value structure and the way you think of things change. And in your head, you crave women who have a low body count. You marry a woman who's a virgin, and on her wedding night, she says these words to you: "I saved my virginity for you. Nobody else ever got this but you, because that's how much I love
Wow.
you." How could a woman ever give you, the man, a better gift than that?
I mean, I don't know. I think the marriage.
What else could she give that could ever be more valuable than that? What
saying
else?
yes to marriage.
A kid.
Oh,
A
my
child saying
God.
yes to
Oh, my
marriage.
God.
I feel like that means more than a virginity.
No, I feel like if I.
But hang on. Anybody who's a man can give you a kid who's fertile, which is most men, right? You can only give your virginity to one man.
I know who.
Right.
So if that is the case, you saying, "Well, I chose to marry you," right? And I'm fertile, so I can accept your seed. You can do that with any man.
Correct.
But you can only give your virginity to one. And if you say, "I gave this to you," this one man, he's the only one who's ever going to have that. No other man ever will. How could you give him something more valuable than that? There's nothing else you could ever exchange to him that couldn't be replaced with something else. You couldn't give him a car that he couldn't replace. You couldn't give him a gold bar he couldn't replace. You couldn't give him anything that could not be replaced except that. That's the only thing you could ever give a man that he can't replace.
But how long is that high going to last? Like, oh, I took her virginity. Like I feel great.
Right,
How
so
long
you
is
took
that
the
feeling
virginity
gonna
of your
last?
wife, hopefully for life.
I don't know.
She
don't
gave
know,
you
I
the
just,
most
like,
Wow.
for me-
valuable thing she had ever.
And you will
she'll
feel
ever have.
Yeah, then you're gonna feel a huge responsibility. Yeah, it makes sense. You're gonna feel like a huge responsibility to take care of her. Yeah, that's true, because you were privileged to have access to that which is the virginity.
But again, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't see like what's valuable about virginity.
It's not. It's
You know
not
what I mean?
what
Like,
you
I'm not
see.
understanding.
Again,
Right.
what determines value? It's what people
But it's
want.
like that's the
Scarcity.
society view.
Yeah, it's what people want, right?
No, I believe but
The society-
Well, you know what? Let me ask you. I don't know what gives money value. I don't even know. It's
Scarcity.
nebulous.
Warlord 69.
Oh, damn, it was getting good.
These are amazing.
Yeah, this was getting good. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'll see you in the next one.